All right, guys. So now we are ready to go ahead and get started with getting data and inserting that data into Power BI. So first things first, I have some data for you. It's going to be Excel data. And if you look down in the descriptions, you'll see something that says tutorial data, and it will have a link to it. That link will bring you to this page. And once you get to this page right here, you're going to simply come down here to say download the raw file. All this is an Excel file, and we will go over it briefly. So if you're going to click on it, and then we're going to just click on it to open it up. You can minimize this. It's going to take us into this. It doesn't matter what you do here at this point. You can enable editing because once you download it, it's yours. And you'll see that you have a customer ID, customer name, date, product, category, products, the city, states, region, country, quantity, sales, profit, and cost. So this is just a sample data just to get you started with Power BI. Once you start doing Power BI and using more different data, you'll start to connect the data and things of that nature. But for the simple fact, or this being a beginner course, we're just going to use this sample data, and you can kind of take a quick glance at it and see that it is indeed a decent size file. As you can see, it is 2,000 rows of data, and we're going to use this data to go ahead and get us started. So once you get it downloaded, the next step is you're going to come over here to get data. And as you can see, it says the common data sources, Excel workbook, Power BI semantic model, data flows. And we know that we're looking at an Excel workbook. So we're going to just simply click on Excel workbook. We're going to find that data model here. And this one that we just downloaded, we're going to open it. And once we open it, it is going to give us this navigator right here. And what we want to do is we want to come here and select the table. All right. Once we select the table, what I want you to do is, instead of hitting load, go to transform this data. And once you click on transform data, it's going to take you to this Power Query editor. And I want to go ahead and quickly introduce you to Power Query editor, but I don't want to confuse you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come here where it says table 1, and we're going to change the name, right? And we're just going to call it whatever your last name is, grocery store. Okay. So now we're going to give you the ability to make this yours. So whatever your last name is in grocery store. My last name is Huff, so I'm going to say Huff Grocery. All right. I'm going to say Huff Grocery Store. Okay. So as we can see here, we have a few columns. So we have a customer ID, and in every column there is an associated data type, right? So for the customer ID, the data type here is a whole number, because as you can see, it's just a whole number. For the customer name, as you can see, is text. So for that, it's just text, right? Here at the date, you see it's a date. So the data type is date, and just so on and so forth. So make sure that that is consistent throughout. Now, if we scroll over here to sales, profit, and cost, we'll see something different, right? For sales, we'll see that we have a decimal number, and we can also make this a fixed decimal number. So what we want to do is go ahead and make this a fixed decimal number. So in cases like this where it says 9.3, we wanted to just say $9.30 because we know that is a actual sale. So we'll change that to fixed decimal number. It's gonna basically let you know that you're changing it, and if you're sure you want to change it. So we're gonna replace it, and you'll see that now instead of that 9.3, you'll see $9.30. The same thing we're gonna do here. Profit, we're gonna change this data type from a decimal number to a fixed decimal number, and we're gonna replace that. And as we can see here at cost, that's already been done. So we're basically good to go. All right. So let's go ahead and come up here to close and apply. As you can see, it's a lot of information up here, but we'll touch on that a little later. So we'll hit close and apply. Once we hit close and apply, we'll see that our data is loading. So we extracted our data, we transformed our data by changing some data types, and now we're loading that data into our Power BI model. Now it says we can build visuals with our data. Before, it asked us to get data to connect to data sources, right? So now it's telling us that we can start building our data. So real quick, we went over the report view and the table view and the model view. So if we click into the table view now, we'll see that we actually have our data there, right? So we have our sales, we have our profit, we have our costs, we have our customer name, our customer IDs. We have all the things that we'll need to start building out our visual report. Now, if we go to our model view, we'll see that we also have a model. Now, this is not a very extensive model. It's just one table. And the more tables you have, the more tables you'll see here in the model. But we just have one table. We don't want to complicate it in the beginning. We're going to keep it very simple. So now that we have our data loaded, we are ready to start developing some Power BI visuals. So I hope you guys enjoyed that.